Walk down any major commercial street in India today, and you are immediately hit with a wall of light and color. Consumers are bombarded by thousands of advertisements every single day, all screaming for attention at the exact same time. Statistically, the odds of a single brand's message actually cutting through that noise and sticking in your memory are practically zero. The common instinct for a brand is to try and stand out by writing better content. Content writing focuses on being editorial, sharing personal emotions, or building broad engagement through things like blog posts and poetry. But when a business needs to survive and drive actual revenue, they rely on a distinctly different, scientific discipline called copywriting. Copywriting is a strategic execution. It takes the mechanics of writing and merges them with consumer psychology, prioritizing professional persuasion over personal expression. A beautifully written poem might make you cry, but a successful piece of copy makes you buy. The success of this writing is never measured by literary elegance. It is entirely based on driving a specific, measurable commercial outcome. There is a foundational rule in the Indian market: Jo dikhta hai, wo bikta hai. What is seen sells. Because consumers are so overwhelmed, forcing someone to simply stop scrolling and look at a product is the hardest step in the entire process. Once you have their eyes, you must create immediate interest. You hook them by highlighting a novel solution or a unique angle, like a new jamun-flavored drink or a hydrating soap extracted directly from forest ingredients. But interest is just information. You have to escalate that into desire. That means shifting the consumer from simply understanding what a product does to feeling an active, emotional eagerness to possess it. This Venn diagram shows the formal economic definition of demand. We have emotional desire here and purchasing power here. Where they overlap in the illuminated center is actual market demand. Successful copy acts as the catalyst for that exact equation. It takes a passive viewer and converts their idle curiosity into a sudden impulse to buy. Imagine reading a targeted description of a perfectly roasted espresso. The words are structured specifically to get you out of your chair and walking toward the nearest cafe. That text generates psychological momentum. It pushes a consumer from simply knowing a product exists to actively spending money on it. Copywriting also builds a brand's market equity. It establishes credibility and prestige that lasts far longer than a single transaction. Every sentence is tailored to align with the psychology of different economic tiers. This matrix plots volume versus luxury tiers. A point in the volume quadrant bombards you with dense feature lists and loud promotional pricing. But dropping another point into the extreme luxury quadrant changes the language. Words are sparse, minimalist, focused entirely on exclusivity and heritage. This deliberate textual architecture prevents luxury brands from cheapening their image, while giving volume brands the high-pressure tactics they need to maximize daily conversion rates. The vocabulary a company chooses dictates its perceived economic rank in your mind. All of this careful structuring eventually leads to a single, inescapable choke point: the call to action. This is a strict binary test. It does not matter how clever or beautifully written the preceding paragraphs were. If the audience reads it and does not act, the copy failed. We measure success through specific behaviors: subscribing to a newsletter, walking into a retail outlet, or completing a direct purchase. This requirement for a measurable physical reaction is exactly what separates the science of commercial copywriting from the everyday art of content creation. The text you read on your screen serves as an invisible engine. It is built to turn your everyday needs into brand-driven purchases.